Ye. She's best known for her book, The Delegate Dream Department Store, as well as the sequel, The Return to the Delegate Dream Department Store, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with, as well as translator Sandy Chusun Lee. And they're both here to share more about Mia's latest book, Breakroom. It's a psychological drama novella. My name is Cass, and I'm the interpreter for today. And also, we would like to extend our thanks to Kinokuniya Bookstores for providing the space where readers and writers can meet. So, without further ado, let's give a warm round of applause.
Sorry, we have to sit if you don't mind. Can we sit? Thank you. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Sandy Chusun Lee. I'm the translator for Dalago Dream Department Store Duology by none other than Mia Lee. And I have also translated Almond by Won Pyong-son. So Mien and I flew from Korea to be here to meet with you guys. And this is our very first book tour. So we are very excited to meet with you and talk about our books. Just to give you a brief introduction, Mie Lee was born in Busan and she has worked as a semiconductor engineer at Samsung Electronics. Her debut novel, Dalago Dream Department Store Duology, has sold over 2 million just in Korea alone. And her newest work, Breakroom, translated by me, is just out now. And I heard that it's already the Straits Times bestseller. So thank you again. So we are here to celebrate in part the launch of Breakroom and also celebrate the duology. So I'll be asking her some questions, and if there's any time, she may ask me a question. And we will leave the floor for you guys to ask us questions. So, Mie, I imagine this moment feels very special for you. Would you like to say hello and give us a few words on being here?
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 이미애라고 하고요. 달러구트 꿈 백화점으로 데뷔했고 네, 탕비실을 썼습니다. 금요일 저녁에 서점에 와주셔서 너무 감사하고 제가 여기서 여러분들이랑 이렇게 얼굴을 마주보고 이야기하는 게 너무너무 기분 좋고 설레고 제 인생에 얼마 없을 정말 인상적인 순간일 거라고 생각을 하고 여러분들의 모습을 찬찬히 담아 갈 테니까 여러분들도 저와 즐겁게 대화하다가 가셨으면 좋겠습니다.
Hello, my name is Lee Mie, and I debuted with the work The Delegate Dream Department Store. Thank you for joining us on this Friday evening, and I'm very happy to see everybody's faces and also very excited. This is a very rare moment in my life, and I'm now back with the book Breakroom.
We have to talk about Dalago Duology first. When it was first published, it became a phenomenon and was beloved by millions across around the world. Did you ever expect such an overwhelming response? Why do you think it resonates with such a wide readership?
달러구트 꿈 백화점이 사랑받은 것은 아무래도 이제 꿈이라는 소재 자체가 전 세계인이 공감할 수 있는 그런 쉽고도 이야기의 확장이 무한한 그런 소재였기 때문이라고 생각을 합니다. 그리고 제가 한국에서 출간했을 때는 그때 코비드가 한창 진행 중인 무렵이었기 때문에 더 사람들에게 이제 위로나 휴식이 필요했던 것 같아요. 그래서 다른 뭐 스릴러 장르 같은 것들보다 좀 더 달러구트 같은 조금 더 반짝반짝하고 예쁜 이야기들을 사랑해 주셨던 것 같습니다.
So I think it was well received because it touched on the theme of dreams, which is relatable all around the world. It was also published during COVID-19, where people needed emotional healing more than the genres like thrillers or psychological horror. So I think that was why it was well received.
Yeah, the themes are very universal. We agree with that. How did this begin, though? Was it a sudden idea, or is this something you had been imagining for a long time?
달러구트 꿈 백화점은 제가 한 고등학교 정도 때부터 생각했었던 이야기였는데요. 그때는 제가 글을 쓰진 않았었고 저는 평범하게 고등학교를 가고 대학교를 가고 또 직장 생활을 꽤 오래 했었기 때문에 한 번도 써본 적은 없었는데 한 고등학교 무렵부터 계속 상상을 하는 걸 좋아했던 것 같아요. 상상하고 메모장에 기록하고 하는 것들을 반복하다 보니까 달러트 꾸민 백화점처럼 좀 굉장히 긴 이야기가 만들어졌습니다. 제가 책에 쓴 것보다 훨씬 더 긴 얘기였어요. 원래는 제가 이제 출판하는 과정에서 많은 어려움이 있어서 지금처럼 2권짜리 책이 되었지만 원래는 굉장히 긴 이야기였고 제가 오랫동안 10년 넘게 생각한 이야기입니다.
This idea first came out when I was in high school, and I wasn't actively writing at the time, but I just followed through with life to university and eventually starting my corporate life. So I'm someone who really likes imagining things and writing them down. So repeating this process over and over again slowly became the book. But I would like to say that even though the duology is 2 books, it is a very, very long process and difficult process for me. And it is an idea that took over 10 years to materialize.
So you said it took 10 years and it started out as a self-publication, if some of you might know, through a crowdfunding program campaign that she launched herself. So it sounds like quite a journey. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that journey?
크라우드 펀딩 할 때는 제가 직업이 대학원생이었고 회사를 그만둔 상태에서 대학원생이었고 파트타임 아르바이트를 하고 있었어요. 그때 하고 있었는데 크라우드 펀딩을 하게 된 거는 생각보다 책을 출판하는데 돈이 엄청 많이 드는 거예요. 저는 깜짝 놀랐거든요. 한국 돈으로 700만 원, 800만 원 정도가 들더라고요. 꽤 많은 책을 이렇게 아주 소량 출판할 수가 없기 때문에 그 정도가 최소 금액이었어가지고 그거를 제가 투입해서 출판을 할 수는 없어가지고 크라우드 펀딩 시스템을 먼저 했었어요. 그때 이미 크라우드 펀딩으로 좀 유명해진 책들이 있었어서 거기에 힘을 얻고 출발을 했습니다. 그래서 제가 목표 금액이 100만 원이었는데 1,800만 원이 모였었어요.
So in terms of the crowdfunding, at the time when I participated in it, I was actually a graduate student. I had already quit my corporate job and I was also working part-time jobs. So it was the first time that I realized that it took a lot of money to publish a book. And came up to around 7,000 to 8,000 Singapore dollars as an estimate. And that amount was difficult to come just from myself. And that was my initial goal, was actually to just raise roughly about 1,000 Singapore dollars, but thankfully I managed to raise a lot more than that.
Wow, that's such an inspirational story. So do you want to talk about how you change your career from an engineer to become a full-time writer? You said you quit the job. Do you want to talk how that big decision came to be?
제가 회사 다닐 때는 사실 또래보다 잘 버는 직업이었어요. 제가 이때까지 해왔던 것에 비해서 저에게 너무 많은 걸 주는 회사였고 지금도 너무너무 사랑하는 회사인데 그때는 제가 뭔가 그쵸 20대 내내 이 직업만 하다가 내가 죽어도 괜찮을까라는 생각을 좀 많이 했던 것 같아요. 근데 머릿속에 이제 달러고트 이야기도 있고 나도 뭔가 나를 표현할 수 있는 일을 한 번쯤은 해보고 싶다라는 생각 때문에 그만두게 되었는데 사실 이제 회사 다니시는 분들 알겠지만 회사에 다니는 재직하는 조건으로 받은 대출은 퇴직하자마자 다 갚아야 되거든요. 근데 이제 제가 그 전세금을 집세를 이제 회사 다니면서 대출을 받았어가지고 그걸 다 갚을 때까지 퇴사를 하지 못했던 그 기억이 나네요. 네. 근데 지금은 잘했다고 생각했는데 그 한동안은 굉장히 많이 후회했었어요. 계속 다닐 걸 하고 후회했어요.
So when I was working in my corporate job, I was earning a lot more than my peers. And even now, when I think back, I think I still love my company. But in my 20s, I had the question whether I could just die, even if I continued working in this job and doing nothing else. But I also realized later on that other than the delegate department, a dream department store, there were many other stories that were waiting to be told. And I was also in a difficult position financially as I also took out a loan to be able to pay for the rent of my house, and I felt like I couldn't quit until I finished paying all that rent. Of course, at the point of time when I first quit, I felt like I regretted and I was also having a hard time, but now thinking back, I think I did a good job.
Yes, definitely right. Thank you so much for making that big decision and to this amazing bestseller. applause. So let's talk about Darling with the Duology. Has anyone read it? So hopefully no spoilers for us, some of you that haven't read it, but we have different kinds of dreams that she talks about. We have conception dreams, with babies' dreams, and we have flying dreams, we have celebrity meeting with the celebrity dreams, we have very Korean dream, which is getting into the army dream. So how did you come up with all these very different dreams, and where are they from?
거의 대부분은 제가 꿔봤던 꿈들이고 이제 군대 가는 꿈 같은 것들은 이제 남자 지인이 한 명이라도 있다면 한국에서는 안 들어본 여자가 없을 거예요. 군대 가는 꿈 꿨는데 너무 힘들었다라든지 군대 다시 가는 꿈을 꾸면 남자들이 굉장히 싫어하거든요. 그래서 그런 얘기들을 많이 들었어가지고 소재로 아주 쉽고 재밌게 썼었던 것 같고 동물에게 주는 꿈이라든지 아니면 크리스마스에 꾸는 꿈 같은 것들은 저의 소망이 담긴 꿈들입니다. 대부분은 제가 꿨던 꿈들이에요.
So all of the dreams, or most of them, are actually my own dreams. And in terms of the military dreams, if we have a friend in South Korea that is male and has been to the military, it is more than likely that they have dreamt that dream. They also hate it when they have finished military and then they dream about it again. So for me, it was relatively easy to access the dream content. And in terms of the Christmas dreams or the dreams about animals, those are just my personal wants, and I hope that these dreams could come true.
What a dreamer, right? She does dream a lot of dreams. So what's your favorite dream that if you could buy from a store, like dream department store?
저는 1년에 한두 번 정도는 정말로 나는 꿈을 꾸거든요. 정말 어느 정도로 진짜 감각적으로 꾸냐면 제가 발을 어떤 세계로 디디면 어디까지 올라가는지를 꿈속에서 알고 있어요. 그리고 구름을 밟으면서 뛰어 올라가는데 육교 밑을 지나가기도 하고 그런 식으로 엄청 현실적으로 나는 꿈을 꾸거든요. 근데 저는 날아다니는 꿈이 제일 좋은 것 같아요.
So my favorite type of dream, I only dream about it about once to twice a year, but it is a dream where I am flying. And it is so realistic that I can see how high I'm flying. I even jump on clouds and I also go under the bridges.
So we have to talk about our new book, Break Room, which is available for purchase. And this is unlike Darling Good Duology. It is very realistic. The shift in genre and tone, it feels like a deliberate departure from the duology. The name, the title is Break Room, is very grounded and realistic. Was this a conscious decision to change direction? And what was the starting point of the story? Has any of your real life work experience been an inspiration behind the story?
일단 달러구트를 출간하고 나서 생각보다 너무 많은 분들이 감사하게 좋아해 주셔가지고 제가 사실 좋기도 했지만 한편으로는 다음 작품을 써야 된다면 어떤 걸 써야 될지 굉장히 부담이 됐던 것도 사실이에요. 근데 모든 사람들이 그렇듯이 우리가 굉장히 입체적이잖아요. 저한테 이런 달러구트 같이 밝고 상상력 넘치는 부분이 있다면 또 살아가기 위해서는 굉장히 현실적인 감각도 동시에 갖추고 있어야 되기 때문에 저도 뭐 그런 사람인데요. 그래서 이번에는 달러구트처럼 상상력 넘치는 이야기 말고 아주 현실적인 이야기를 써보자 라고 했는데 사실상 저는 탕베시를 쓰면서 굉장히 제 상상이 많이 들어갔어요. 저는 실제로는 이렇게까지 티나게 사람들을 비호감을 살 만한 행동을 하는 사람을 잘 본 적이 없거든요.
After the good reception of my first two books, there's inevitably some pressure in terms of what I could write for my next work. So of course, everybody has enjoyed the bright vibes of the Delegate Dream department store world, but there's also the very realistic part of life that's very different from the first two books. So I decided that I wanted to touch on the realistic aspects in this book, Break Room. And even though it might sound like I didn't use a lot of my imagination, but I actually had to imagine a lot to make this work happen.
So this book is about reality show where office villains voted by the co-workers would come together to figure out who the mole is, which is a fake villain among them. So I'm curious, were there any villains that didn't make the final cut in the story?
최종 후보에서 탈락한 빌런은 정말 나쁜 사람들은 다 탈락시켰어요. 예를 들어서 이제 직장 내 성희롱을 한다든지 아니면 정말로 이렇게 커피 믹스처럼 자잘한 물건들 말고 정말로 남의 물건을 훔치는 사람이라든지 그런 누가 봐도 너무 나쁜 사람들은 이 이야기의 취지랑 맞지 않아서 제가 다 배제했습니다.
The characters I eventually eliminated from the final conception of the book is the people I consider really bad, people like criminals who don't steal things just like coffee mix, but actually steal real items.
Yeah, so those of you who hasn't read it, there are a lot of different villains of Break Room. We have the protagonist Ice Cube, who uses office ice cube tray for his coffee, for Coke, and we have Tumblr, who has like a dozen of them unwashed in the sink. We have Monologue, who just mumbles like forever, so it's like a creep. So I have to ask, out of these villains from Break Room, who do you think is the worst office villain if you were their actual coworker?
제가 어제 북토크에서는 주인공인 얼음이 제일 제가 힘든 타입이라고 말씀을 드렸었는데 제가 어제 다시 숙소에 가서 생각을 해보니까 저는 좀 텀블러가 힘든 것 같아요. 저는 물건을 늘어놓는 게 결혼하니까 그렇게 싫더라고요. 그래서 생각해보니까 그 사람 제일 싫은 것 같아요. 네.
So at yesterday's book talk, I talked about how I hated ice cubes the most, but when I went back and I thought about it again, I think I hate tumblers the most, because after I got married, for some reason, I really hate leaving things lying around.
Will there be any possibility that you might change your answer tomorrow?
공감하시는 걸 제가 한번 들었다고요.
I see some of you nodding in agreement. But we have to talk about our protagonist. For some of you who read it, he's such a character. He's a protagonist, but it's a protagonist that we rarely see. He's very unlikable. He's sometimes a creep, sometimes a lot of times. And yeah, we kind of follow the story from his perspective. So we are kind of on his side in a way, but you get to a point, no spoilers, but we get to a point and we realize that, oh right, this guy is a villain. And we begin to wonder, can we really trust this narrator? So when you wrote the story from the point of view, this rare protagonist that is unlikable and unreliable, are there things you kept in mind to ensure that readers stay connected and empathetic?
왜냐면 얼음은 이야기를 이끌어 나가야 되는 인물이기 때문에 독자들한테 너무 미움을 받아서도 안 되고 너무 좋게 비춰져도 안 되잖아요. 그래서 어떻게 하면 이 사람이 내가 왜 여기 왔지라는 생각을 멈출 수 없게끔 이야기를 끌어 나갔어야 되기 때문에 책을 읽으면서 많은 분들이 그런 생각을 하셨더라고요. 나도 그런 사람이 아닐까? 나도 누가 싫어하는 사람이 아닐까? 그 생각을 얼음도 계속 하고 있도록 계속 끝까지 유지하는 거에 중점을 뒀던 것 같습니다.
So with Ice Cubes as a narrator, I had to keep things balanced. So which means as the reader, you shouldn't feel like he's too good or too bad of a person. And the focus is always kept on having the reader think about, but in the perspective of Ice Cubes, why did I come here? And am I also someone like him?
Yeah, I remember reading the book and translating it. It was such a fun challenge in a way to translate, I mean, his voice is very uneasy edge that I completely agree with her as it's like a tightrope to walk. So I really wanted to make sure to preserve the voice that she created uniquely for this character. So my next question is, I found it very profoundly powerful reading your author's note, which you start the story as a way of releasing the emotion of dislike or hatred. So it's a very bold and powerful statement to me, and because especially in today's world, it is very easy to hate on each other, to be judging and to be misunderstood in a way as well. And I thought it was a response to the cancel culture that we are in. And I'm curious, what led you to turn this emotion, very powerful emotion, into a story, and what did it mean to you personally to release this like?
씨름을 분출한다라는 거는 이 책을 제가 임신했을 때 썼는데 아시는 분은 아시겠지만 임신하면은 굉장히 사람이 부정적으로 변하거든요. 그래가지고 이거를 분출하지 않고는 태교를 할 수 없는 상황이었어요. 그래서 어디에든 써야겠다라고 생각해서 시작한 작업이었는데 제가 원래 이유 없이 사람이 싫어지지가 않거든요. 근데 너무 호르몬이 요동치니까 이유 없이 싫다는 감정이 가끔 생기는 거예요. 그래서 이거를 적어서 풀어내서 내 속에서 없애버려야겠다라는 생각으로 쓰기 시작했던 것 같아요. 그래서 저한테는 어떤 의미였냐 하면 태교였다. 네, 그렇게 정리할 수 있을 것 같습니다.
So in terms of releasing dislike through this book, I'm not sure if you know, I was pregnant when I wrote this book. And as you know, pregnant women are also prone to having mood swings and also feeling negative moods. And when you feel too much negative moods, that might also affect the baby. So I was also thinking of writing as a way to express myself and to release this hate from my system. And I also thought about how we always feel like we have a reason to hate someone, but sometimes when you're in that mood, sometimes you will hate someone for no reason at all.
That is a very very fun in a way background behind this writing this novel. So what do you hope readers would take away from Breakthrough?
저는 책으로 어떤 메시지를 전달하고 싶은 욕심은 전혀 없고요. 저는 책은 사실 작가가 쓰고 나면 100% 읽는 사람의 몫이라고 생각하거든요. 그 사람이 오늘 어떤 기분인지, 내가 어떤 하루를 살고 있는지에 따라서 같은 책도 너무나 다른 100만 가지 방향으로 읽힐 수 있다고 생각하기 때문에 제가 전달하려고 한다고 해서 그게 100% 전달되지는 않는다는 걸 알고 있어서 제가 뭔가를 얻어가셨으면 하는 것보다는 저는 이 책은 굉장히 짧아요. 이게 왜 이렇게 짧지 싶을 정도로 짧을 수도 있어요. 근데 요즘에는 책 한 권을 처음부터 끝까지 읽기가 힘들잖아요. 저도 가끔 그렇거든요. 근데 이 책을 읽음으로써 제가 만약에 정말 흥미가 떨어지지 않게 잘 썼다면 첫 장을 열고 마지막 장 덮을 때까지 내가 이렇게 책을 한 번에 한 호흡으로 읽을 수 있는 사람이었구나. 나에게도 이런 집중력이 남아있구나. 라는 어떤 책 읽기의 자신감이랄까요? 그런 거를 제 책을 발판 삼아서 가져가시고 더 많은 키노쿠니아 서점에 있는 더 많은 책들을 접하셨으면 좋겠습니다.
So when I write, there is not much intention just to deliver one message because I don't feel like when the book goes over to the reader, it is also dependent on what they go through in their daily lives. And there are so many different ways to interpret a book. So I feel like even if I try to deliver a message, it's not going to go across 100%. And also this book, you might realize it's kind of short. It's short to the point you might realize, why is it so short? But I also like you to feel that you are able to read a book from front to back because that could be very difficult for us these days. And you could also gain some confidence in feeling like, I actually have the concentration to read a book from front to back. And I hope that at the remaining time at the bookstore, you'll also be able to feel that way.
Yeah, it is such a great big story. I remember purchasing the book and I finished reading it on my way back home. I wanted I wanted more. I mean, it's too short, right? Hopefully, in a sequel. I want to ask. This is my personal question that I wanted to take advantage of, which is, do you have any writing routines or habits that you always keep that was really effective for any?
저는 버릇이라기보다는 버릇은 지금 생각해보니까 설거지를 꼭 하는 것 같아요. 하기 전에. 일하기 전에 집에서 일할 때나 밖에 나가서 일할 때 꼭 설거지를 해놓고 나가야 뭔가 이게 더러운 찌꺼기가 머리에 없는 상태로 시작할 수 있는 것 같고 제일 좋아하는 시간대는 저녁 8시부터 새벽 2시라 가지고 그 시간만큼은 좀 집중을 하려고 하는 편인 것 같아요. 요즘에는 그렇습니다. 뭔가 어떤 특별한 징크스라든지 꼭 지켜야 되는 그런 건 없는 것 같아요.
In terms of habits, now that I think about it, I realize that before I go out to write or start to write, I always wash the dishes because it feels like I'm cleaning the dirt from my head. In terms of the time where I feel like I focus the best, it is from 8 p.m. in the evening to 2 a.m. In the midnight, and that's when I feel like I have the most focus. In terms of other habits, I don't think I have any other.
번역가님도 집필하실 때 루틴이 있는지 어디서 하시는지 번역가들은 어떻게 하는지 궁금해요.
So this is a question from Mia to Sandy. While Sandy is translating books, it could be Mia's, could be any of her other works. Do you also have routines or habits that you follow?
If I had to name one rigid routine, it'll be time itself, because I have a full-time job, which is also a translator. But so my biggest discipline is drawing boundaries and carving out precious hours, either from early morning or at night, or long hours at night, for my passion project that is literary translation. So that constraint has ironically become part of my routine. It really forces me to focus deeply during the windows of time I do have. And if there's one quirk, it'll be I usually read like a few pages of a novel before I start translating. Like strangely, that's like often my most enjoyable reading time. I think maybe because it's like a procrastination, but I also like warming up before diving into work. Yeah, so I wanted to ask one last question. We have one last question. What's your next project? Will there be, my specific question is, will there be a sequel to Dalaga Duology?
원래는 제가 다른 장편 소설 신작을 먼저 쓰고 있었는데 이제 일정이 좀 꼬여가지고 그 달러구트 프리퀄을 먼저 쓰고 있습니다. 아마 그게 제일 먼저 나올 것 같아요. 달러구트가 가게를 열기 전 이야기입니다.
So I was actually working on another novel before this, but because of my schedules, I'm actually currently working on the prequel to the Dalaga Dream Department Store series, where I'll be talking about what happens before the department store opened.
The first to learn this news. Not even the publisher knows it, I think. So then there won't be any romance story for Penny from Maxine. This will be before, right?
없죠. 왜냐면 안 태어났을 거예요.
There won't be any romance involving Penny, unfortunately, because this happens in the timeline before Penny was born.
So maybe next book. I keep asking her to write it. She pretends she doesn't hear it, but okay. Are we good with time? I think we can open up for Q&A from you guys. So.
I really love the book, and when I'm reading it, I can already imagine how the department store looks like. Will it ever become a TV show?
약간 계약 중이라 가지고 말씀드리기가 조금 네. Keep a secret. 계약이 되면 굉장히 멋지게 나올 것 같아가지고 저도 기대하고 있습니다.
It's difficult for me to share right now because we are in the progress of it. But I think that when it does come out, it's gonna look really good. So I hope everyone can look forward to it.
Something is cooking. Any other questions? Hi. Hello, so nice to see you again. I finished up both volumes of the Dalaga Dream department store today, and I think it was really cool, super interesting. I think one of the coolest segments, or most satisfying segments actually, was when Nicholas makes the guilt cookies. He puts out a tray and then the couple immediately steals all of them. And it was almost reminiscent of the villains in Break Room, except arguably I think the couple are worse and meaner. And it was so in contrast with the rest of the two novels that I was really curious what inspired you to put it in the segment, and especially of all dream makers, for Nicholas to do that.
저는 다이어트 되게 어두운 면을 처음부터 많이 넣었다고 생각을 하는데, 왜냐면 이제 꿈꾸고 상상하고 판타지 이런 게 사람들이 밝다고 생각하지만 현실성이 다 들어가 있잖아요. 한 명 한 명 얘기를 들어보면은 다 우리 얘기고 그건 밝을 수만은 없는 얘기잖아요. 그래서 제가 어두운 면에 넣어야겠다라고 생각하기보다는 그냥 할 수밖에 없는 얘기였던 것 같아요. 왜냐면은 꿈 같은 거를 뭐랄까요, 뭔가 나쁜 꿈 같은 거, 좋은 꿈 같은 게 전부 다 현실에서 영향이 왔다고 생각을 하니까 어떤 악한 행동을 하면 당연히 꿈으로 업보로 받을 수 있다라는 생각으로 자연스럽게 썼던 것 같아요.
So in terms of why I thought about things in that way is also because I feel like life is not just about separating dreams into good or bad. It is merely realistic, and things cannot just be bright. So instead of making a conscious decision to add so-called a bad dream inside, it is just inevitable to me. And also at the same time, I do feel like if you do a bad thing, like an evil act, it also pays back in your dreams.
Any other questions?
Hi, actually this question is more directed to Sandy. When translating the book, right, I suppose that there were like certain cultural contexts that you had to take into account. So what were some challenges that you have faced when actually translating this novel?
This novel being Dalaga? Okay. So, as some of you have read it, there are some Korean cultural references, basically from dream references. We have, I'm not sure if you guys have dream interpretation culture, but we are very obsessed with interpreting dreams more than dreaming the dream. So there are a lot of conception dreams that all of Koreans have. So that's something that are very natural, and also there are very for Koreans that are very exotic names that are very Western influences. So this is something very unique to translate a Korean literature from, because usually it will be mostly based on Korean culture. So I actually have fun, mixing different cultural references, because this being a fantasy genre, she kind of blends in Western influences, Santa Claus being the one. I think it's not just Korean culture that is infused, but there are a lot of mix of different cultures that I found very interesting and have fun with. So in terms of being mindful of culture, this is not really a cultural book per se. So it's a blend of different fantasy genres. So I think that that answers your question, but I actually have fun with it.
Hi, I just want to say that I really enjoyed reading The Break Room. I thought it's very creative and very easy read. I was wondering, have you ever thought of publishing a book, or have you ever thought of being an author? And what tips do you have for someone who's aspiring to be an author and write? Thank you.
회사를 그만두지 말고 쓰셨으면 좋겠어요. 저는 회사를 안 그만뒀으면 훨씬 더 그 정신적으로나 신체적으로나 굉장히 건강하게 썼을 것 같고, 뭔가 회사를 다닌다고 해서 내가 못 쓰는 게 아니라는 거를 제가 그때 너무 어려서 몰랐던 것 같아요. 그래서 만약에 다른 일을 하고 계시는 게 내가 지금 하는 직업이 내가 글 쓰는 걸 막는다는 생각이 들면 어쩔 수 없지만, 그래도 최대한 도망칠 곳을 마련해 두시라 라는 생각을 하고 싶습니다. 왜냐면 저도 잘 된 게 그냥 읽어주시는 분들 덕분이지, 이건 정말 겸손이 아니라 제가 잘해서 그랬다고 생각하지 않거든요. 이거는 정말 어떤 운이랑 뗄래야 뗄 수가 없기 때문에 정말 현실적으로 생각했으면 좋겠어요. 우리는 상상을 파는 사람들이지만 현실적으로 살아야 내가 행복할 수 있는 거잖아요. 옛날처럼 너무너무 좋은 명작을 남기고 내 인생을 불행하게 살다 갈 수는 없는 거니까, 슬프게 살다 갈 수는 없는 거니까 행복한 글이 세상에 많았으면 좋겠거든요. 그래서 꼭 나의 비빌 언덕이라고 하거든요. 비빌 언덕을 만들고 작업을 꾸준히 하셨으면 좋겠습니다. 하루에 1시간이면 충분한 것 같아요.
So my first piece of advice is please don't quit your job, because I feel like if I did not quit my job, the writing process would have been a lot healthier emotionally and also physically. And I also could feel like at some point I couldn't write unless I quit my job, but also I think I had that thought because I was too young. And I also had the same thought that I'm not saying this because I am humble, but I actually think that there's a lot of luck involved, and I did well not just because of my own skills. I also believe that it is important to be realistic, to be happy, and at the same time, we cannot always just write something sad and then leave that behind and end our lives with that. So I hope that the world is filled with many happy kinds of writings, and that's what I hope to leave behind as well. I also hope to tell you that you should just keep up with writing an hour a day, and that will be enough.
Persistence. That's right. Any other questions? Oh.
Okay, I really love both of the books in the Dream Delegate. So my question is, it's very cool that you can remember your dreams. Do you, because usually we forget our dreams right after we wake up. So do you immediately write those dreams after you dream those dreams?
맞아, 이게 책 쓰려고 소재를 모을 때는 꿈 꾸고 나서 꿈 꾸고 일어나서 1분 안에 적어야 돼요. 이게 제가 경험해 보니까 실제 연구로도 그렇고 5분 안에 절반 이상이 날아간대요. 그래서 바로 써야 돼요. 바로. 그래서 연필 가져올 시간도 없고 핸드폰에다가 다 적었었던 것 같아요.
I write immediately after I wake up, and it's usually within 1 minute because research has shown, and from my own experience as well, that within 5 minutes, more than half of your dream you will forget. So I don't even have time to pick up a pencil or a pen, I just write it in my phone.
Any other questions?
For me, what was your favorite chapter to write in the Dollar Gut Dream Department Store? And for Sandy, what was your favorite chapter to translate?
이거는 항상 바뀌는데 질문해 주시면 항상 바뀌는데 지금 오늘 기분은 저는 첫 챕터가 제일 좋아요. 첫 챕터 첫 글자가 뭐였는지 정확히 기억나지 않지만 뭔가 페니가 면접 보러 달려가는 그런 순간이었던 것 같은데 그게 이제 제가 여기 올 때 기분이랑 좀 비슷해가지고 면접 보러 온 건 아니지만 어쨌든 좋은 인상을 남기고 싶어서 그 애쓰는 그 모습이 지금 저랑 비슷해서 그게 지금은 제일 좋아요. 네.
So it always changes whenever anyone asks me that question, but for today, it is the first chapter, and I can't exactly remember how I started the chapter, but I do remember that it was Penny running around trying to rush for the interview, and I feel like that's kind of similar to how I felt on the way here to the bookstore, and it is the heart of being like desperate and wanting to leave a good impression and also do a good job.
Same goes for me. It changes every day. For today, my favorite chapter to write, it's hard to pick. But for today, it'll have to be the last chapter of the volume 2 with Penny and Maxine. That's why I asked that question, just to follow up. So that's my favorite chapter. Any other questions, guys? Hello.
If you could work in Dollar Gut Dream Department Store, which floor would you work on?
너무 귀엽다고 일단 먼저 너무 귀엽고 예쁘다고 먼저.
You're really cute. I really want to tell you that first before I answer the question.
is so cute too.
질문도 너무 귀엽네요. 저는 1층에서 하고 싶어요. 1층이 제일 좋은 꿈 파는 데니까 제일 인정받은 느낌이 들 것 같고 뭐랄까요. 그러니까 1층이 어떤 가게의 첫 인상이잖아요. 거기서 일할 수 있으면은 굉장히 보람이 있을 것 같아요. 1층에서 일하고 싶고 만약에 안 되면 차라리 2, 3, 4층을 건너뛰고 5층으로 가고 싶어요. 이게 재고떨이 하는 데를 가가지고 이제 좀 부담 없이 일할 수 있는 그런 포지션을 좀 좋아해가지고 아마 1층 아니면 5층으로 갈 것 같습니다.
So I would like to work at the first floor, and that's also because I feel like I can get the most recognition there. And in most stores, the first floor is where you get the first impression of the store, and that's why I feel the most rewarded if I were to work at the first floor. But if I couldn't, I would skip floors 2, 3, and 4 and go straight to 5, where the storage is, so I can work without any pressure.
Can I also answer the question? I would love to work on the 4th floor where all the animal dreams are. So I just wanted to ask. Get that question. Any other question? It doesn't have to be cute or can be serious. Any... If that is all, yeah, we can wrap it up. But could you leave our readers with a final message?
제가 여기서 다른 분들을 모시고 어떤 좋은 말을 하면 좋을까 생각을 했었는데 아마 제가 그렇게 좋은 말을 하진 못했을 거예요. 근데 저는 이렇게 말 주변보다는 어쨌든 이야기로 얘기를 해야 되는 사람이기 때문에 앞으로 혹시나 시간이 나시고 조금 심심하시면은 제가 무슨 책을 썼나 한 5년에 한 번이라도 검색을 해봐 주시면은 감사하겠습니다. 저는 꾸준히 쓰겠습니다. 너무 감사합니다. 책 많이 봐주셔서 감사하고 관심 가져줘서 감사하고 항상 건강하셨으면 좋겠습니다.
In this gathering of good people, I would love to say good words, but I also feel like I'm not the best of words, but instead I tell through stories. So I'm hoping that in time to come, in about 5 years, if you could just search for my name again and see what kind of new work I've come out with. And I'm very thankful for your love and your support. I also hope that everyone will continue to be in good health. And thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you so much for your time. We do have if you guys can stick around, we would love to have a group photo. Facing there.
Just facing the camera over there.
If everyone can just turn to see, there's a lady in black standing on a chair, I believe. That's where she'll be taking the photo.
Can you please also hold out your copies of Sorry, may I ask you guys to stand up as well? Thank you. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
One last thing, we would love to sign your copy. Where does the queue go?